My guilty pleasure is to listen to Skyrim ambient music while working, and my girlfriend legit hates it and calls it depression music. One day, the Nord music started talking to me, thus came that itch to play Skyrim. I thought since I was playing it, might as well get that platinum to show my commitment. So here we are. Before starting anything, I went to my trusty trophy guide page to check out that trophy list, where I saw that this game has a total of 51 trophies, of which we have 35 bronze, 14 silver, 1 gold, and that shining platinum. I would like to say that everything looked fairly straightforward, but it didn't, as there's some missable trophies to look out for and certain in-game choices and missions that can fuck shit up, so I had to be super careful. Plus, the approximate amount of time for getting that plat was just too much for me. I made a list of all the missable stuff, and after having a thorough read through again, I decided it was not worth it. So thank you for watching and see you again next time. Bye bye. Okay, just kidding. We start the game as a nobody taken to be executed along with a couple of criminals, which includes Ulfric Stormcloak, one of the key figures of Skyrim, but more on him later. Right as we are getting out of the cart, the guard in charge asks who we are, and we are shown the screen where we have to pick our character class and get to customize our appearance.
2 hours later.
After some good thinking, I went for the dark elf race as I wanted to make a stealth archer build, which literally no one goes for in Skyrim. Right as we are about to get our heads chopped off, a dragon intervenes and saves us. We are taught the basics of the game and have to make an escape. We are held by both our captors and fellow captives and have to make a choice at the start, a choice that will determine our side. As always, I just went off with Ralof and fought off some Imperial guards. We are taught the basic sword combat, magic, bow combat, and lockpicking. Before escaping the area completely, we are taught about the stealth mechanics of the game, and I decided to exploit Ralof's ass for some easy trophies and sneaky leveling up. You see, since this is a tutorial area, Ralof cannot die and won't attack us back if we accidentally hit him. The more we hit him or perform a certain kind of attack on him, the more we level up in that skill department. Since I was going for the stealth build, I sneaked behind him and kept on attacking him silently, which started leveling me up quickly. Every time we level up, we get a skill point, which can be invested in one of the many skill trees in the game. I started investing in the sneak skill tree, which made my basic sneak damage grow more. In no time, we unlock our first trophy for reaching level 5. I continued my strat for a good few hours, leveling up more and more, unlocking new perks to the sneak tree and getting more tricks like 15x damage, silent roll, and trophies like Adept for reaching level 10 and Skill Master for maxing out the sneak skill level. With the sneak skill no longer progressing further, the grind did slow a bit, but I was more than motivated to bash this guy's head with my one-handed melee moves. This was definitely boring, but since I'm a busy man, I decided to combine it with cycling so that I can make the most of my time. 2 birds, 1 stone, eh? Anyways, after losing a good few calories and my sanity of course, I got another trophy for reaching level 25. Plus, I also maxed my one-handed skill, so I decided to take a break from this grind and get back to the actual game itself. We escape Helgen with Ralof and get our first story trophy. We are asked by Ralof to join him in Riverwood, our first destination, which is not far away. But before heading there, we run down the terrain where we find these mystical standing stones. Activating one gets us another trophy. There's a total of 13 of these in the world, and you guessed it, there's another trophy for finding all of these. So I was trying to have a look out for them around the open world. One sort of advantage and disadvantage of leveling up this early in the game is that you start getting high level loot quite early on, but also start running into more powerful enemy types. Anyways, I was having quite a lot of fun running into enemies, fishing, and gathering loot. I also found this spell book which let me summon a ghost, and that was super handy. I had never tried necromancy or conjuring spells before, so I found it quite useful. After some minor exploration, we head to our task at hand, which brings us to Riverwood, a small village located near the city of Whiterun. We have a quick chat with Gerda, Ralof's sister, who asks us to go to Whiterun and inform the Jarl about the dragon incident and give the rest of the Skyrim a heads up that the dragons are back. Before heading to Whiterun, we help a few folks around the town completing some side activities, and one of them leads us to these Nordic ruins. This is basically a type of dungeon, and at the end of these, we mostly get some good loot and absorb a word of power, which becomes a shout, which is basically dragon language. There are a total of 20 shouts in the base game, and we need to collect them all to unlock a trophy, and there's also a trophy for completing 50 dungeons, so I was on to them as I made my way through the big open world of Skyrim. After some more simple side quests, I had enough gold to learn some archery skills. I like the fact that we can pay NPCs around the world to level up our skills as well. It did leave me penniless, so I tried stealing back the money from my teacher, which resulted in a fight, and I had to silence him for good. These are the minor things which make Skyrim both funny and fun, that you can basically create your own story and adventure. Expect the unexpected, bitch. Anyways, back to the main story, we rush towards Whiterun, one of the 9 major cities in Skyrim. Since it is nighttime and there is no place to sleep, we just go to the city's tavern, where we get challenged by a friendly face for a drinking contest. As a true elf, never backs away from a drink, we go for it, and we find ourselves in Markarth, another one of the 9 major cities. This quest is one of the 15 Daedric quests in Skyrim, and to be fair, this can only be unlocked once you reach level 14 in the game, and not right away at the start. Each Daedric quest revolves around a Daedra who are like demigods, and rewards us with a Daedric artifact. And you guessed it, there is a trophy for collecting 15 Daedric artifacts. There's a good possibility of missing some of the items depending on your choices. However, mostly obeying the Daedra gets us the rewards. For this quest, we need to find Sam, our drinking buddy from the night before, and have to travel to various locations picking up clues on what happened. Since we are in Markarth, we also save a lady in the city from being assassinated. One thing leads to another, and we have to complete this dungeon, and thanks to my master's sneak skills, everything went smooth as butter. We finally meet Sam, who's sanguine, one of the Daedric princes, and gifts his staff which can summon a Daedra for help, which was one of my go-to weapons, at least in the early game. This also gets us an easy trophy. We are back in Whiterun, and this time we decide to get back to the main story before running into something else. We inform the Jarl of the city about the dragon attack, and he asks us for some help to defend Whiterun. We have to talk to his court wizard, who might have some information on how to deal with the dragons. The wizard tasks us to visit Bleak Falls Barrow, the dungeon we did earlier, and bring a stone tablet. Since I had it already, it saved me the whole trip and got us an easy trophy. He had some magic spells for sale, some of which I was interested in, so I bought him. You see, I love watching overpowered build related videos on YouTube, and I had seen this video earlier that day where we can easily max out our conjuring skills using this soul trap spell, and another video where I saw that one of the easiest ways to getting rich in Skyrim is by crafting water breathing potion, which can be sold for a really good amount. And since there's a trophy in the game for collecting about 100,000 coins, I was on to brewing myself some money juice and leveling up a bit in the dark arts. First things first, we need a Nordic barnacle, which can be found in some watery swampy areas, garlic, which can be found in most houses or inns, and salmon roe, which was a bit tricky to find. There's an easy method of acquiring these by killing some salmons. However, it's kinda tricky to kill these bastards. I saw this video online which showed an exploit where you can cast an ice spell in the water near Solitude. I went there to try my luck when I saw some thugs swimming after me who wanted to do some underwater fighting. They chased me to the docks. However, they got stuck behind the stairs while I shot them to death. Honestly, this was one of the typical Bethesda moments, which makes Skyrim both super funny and frustrating at the same time. Anyway, I figured the easiest way of getting salmon roes is by going to any waterfall and using a fire spell on the jumping fishes and collecting those salmon roes at the bottom. Collecting them, we make the potion, which can be sold for quite a good value. The more we create the potion, the more we level up our alchemy skills, and the more we sell, the more we better our speed skills. I used another glitch to quickly sell off some potions. You see, every shopkeeper in Skyrim only has a certain amount of gold and can't just buy everything from us. However, there's an easy glitch to make their gold unlimited. First, you need to make a quick save, hit them, and then reload the quick save file, which refills their gold stash. Up next, I killed a crab, started casting the soul trap spell on the body, and fast forwarded time by an hour in game. This was quite a grind, but it leveled up my conjuring skills to max, and I reached level 33. I was bored after the grind, so I went to continue the main quest where I have to help the soldiers of Whiterun fight off a dragon. This was pretty easy thanks to our max skill sets and help from the guards. Taking down the dragon, we absorb its soul, which unlocks our very first shout and an easy trophy. The gods say that we are a dragonborn and have the blood and soul of a dragon. Turns out that the greybeards can teach us more about the shouts, and we are summoned by them since we use the shout. The Jarl gives us the title of Thane, and we get a free bodyguard to protect us on our journey. At this point, I thought of leveling up a bit, so I bought a horse from the stables, set the difficulty to legendary, and started beating it to death with a two-handed weapon for hours. After some boring grind, I reached around level 38. I checked the list of active quests, and boy, did I get scared looking at the huge pile of them, despite me not doing much in the game. At this point, I decided to complete some side quests, as there are some trophies related to completing side and misc objectives. In one of the dungeons, I even found a Daedra armor, which I personally never had found this early in the game. Now I don't know if this is because of the anniversary edition of Skyrim or just because of the leveling up. Since I was overcumbered, I decided it was high time I got myself a place where I can store all the new weapons and armors. So I went back to Whiterun and purchased my new home, which got me a trophy. More like a trophy for buying the shittiest home ever. Skyrim has quite a lot of quests. However, the main ones include the main storyline, 4 guild, Civil War, and Daedric quests. Since most trophies are connected to completing different missions, I somewhat began my journey to completing them. We visit Winterhold, which is home to the Mages Guild. However, before starting that, I ended up helping some citizens of Winterhold to become the Thane of Winterhold, which basically brought me to Riften for one of the quests, which also low-key made me start the Thieves Guild storyline, which kinda sidelined me from the main objective at hand. Anyways, one thing led to another, and we are back near Winterhold in one of the icy cave dungeons, where we stumble upon some amazing spells, one of which basically broke the game for me in a great way, but more on that later. Up next, we head back to Winterhold and finally join the college. Passing the basic initiation test gets us an easy trophy. We are shown around the campus, learn some basic defense spells, and start our classes by going on a field tour where we run into a mage from an ancient order and an artifact known as the Eye of Magnus. We bring it to the college to learn more about it. Apparently, it's too powerful and risky, so we head into the college basement dungeon to find someone who might know more about it. We need the Staff of Magnus to control the power of the eye and are sent to find its trail. Upon our return, the college is overtaken by Ancano, the Thalmor guy, who uses the eye's power to kill the guild master, and we get a story trophy. Winterhold is surrounded by magical anomalies. Luckily, the guild master left us the location of the staff, and we have to go to find it in a dungeon, which has a mini boss at the end. That fight was easy because of the AI being stupid. Most quests around Skyrim end up sending us to a dungeon, typical D&D stuff. Anyway, with the help of the staff, we have to fight Ancano, where we can shoot the eye to be able to hit Ancano. The extra summons help make the fight even more easier, and we get our final mage questline trophy, and also the title of the new guild master, which is just so stupid. I mean, I just joined the college a couple of quests ago. Since we are the new guild master, we get a new outfit, Savos's amulet, and a circlet, which all combined raise our magical abilities to the next level, almost breaking the game. Using the Unbounded Storm ability with this gear set just melted waves of enemies, and I was having a blast. In Skyrim, you can also encounter dragon attacks randomly, as the main story basically revolves around the return of the dragons, so I was dealing with as many of them as possible, as it's required for one of the trophies. Up next, we made a return to Riften, my favorite city in the game. I love how this city has canals and an underground ratway. Every part of the city shouts thieves and assassins. Talking about thieves, we visit the Ragged Flagon, home to the Thieves Guild, where we accept the initiation quest to join the guild. After extorting some money from the lovely folks of Riften, we get our first thief story trophy. We meet all the members of the guild and have a chat with Vex and Delvin for small contracts, which are kinda important, but more on that in a bit. We also meet this lady who can change our looks, and I was like, why not, since I'm a thief and all. This made me busy for a bit and I got an easy trophy. However, I won't be counting it, since I'll be only covering the base game trophies in this video. I started completing some of the thieving missions, which were a bit repetitive and got me bored, so I thought of completing some side and miscellaneous quests, as there are trophies linked with them. Misc ones are straightforward, however the side quests can be a bit tricky on the anniversary edition. There's like a bajillion quests, and some of them can feel like side quests but actually count as just quests. Luckily, I noticed that at the right time and went for the ones I knew already already, like the Red Guard Lady quest from Whiterun, the Temple of Kinnereth one, the Blackbriar one from Riften. During one of the missions, I got Snake Tongue for bribing, persuading, and intimidating. We also unlocked Artificer for smithing, enchanting, and brewing a potion. I also found some pets during some of the quests, which I thought was really cool. I think this was added with the anniversary edition. Oh, and during most of the side quests or useless activities, I ended up going to a lot of different caves and dungeons, which is pretty good as it saved me that extra grind later. And in some of them we can also find these books which can increase our skill level points, and since there's a trophy for reading 50 skill books, I was actively searching for them in different areas. Completing 50 misc objectives got us Hero of the People. During the Markarth side mission, I ended up going to jail, which is different from the regular jails and is more like a mining cave. While trying to loot a body, I accidentally ended up mining, which got me Hard Worker for cooking, chopping woods, and mining, even though I didn't mine. See, it's moments like these which make Skyrim extra special. My quest to find more side quests brought me to Winterhold, another major city ruled by Ulfric Stormcloak. I tried to kill him to see if it affects the Civil War questline, however, it was a failure. Winterhold is home to Nords and Nords alone. We can see Dark Elf refugees living in the city, however, everyone is very racist towards them. I wasn't too welcome either as a Dark Elf myself. Doing a few missions in the city got me sideways for completing 10 side quests. With all the misc and side quests out of the way, I finally returned to the Thieves Guild storyline and started doing it again for the third time, with the aim of seriously completing it without getting distracted. The story of the Thieves Guild wasn't too interesting. Someone's trying to undermine the guild by sabotaging its operations, and we have to find the culprit. Turns out it's an old member called Carlia. Upon finding her, a boss and the leader of the guild betrays us and tries to kill us both, but Carlia saves us. Turns out that Carlia, Mercer, and Gallus were the three top thieves, and Mercer betrayed them and killed Gallus. We now have to prove our innocence in front of the guild. Mercer has stolen the whole of the guild's treasure vault and an artifact of Nocturnal, one of the Daedric deities. Turns out that Carlia, Gallus, and Mercer were nightingales who were blessed by Nocturnal. We have to become one of the nightingales and have to kill Mercer in the final mission and have to return Nocturnal's artifact to her. While completing all this, I got a good few trophies like Explorer for discovering 100 locations in the game, Golden Touch for collecting 100,000 gold, which was made easy thanks to the water breathing potion, and selling a lot of good loot like the countless ebony weapons I found throughout the different dungeons thanks to that early level up, and Darkness Returns for completing the Thieves Guild storyline. To my surprise, we still had one more trophy from the Thieves Guild, which is for bringing the Thieves Guild back to its former glory. We need to complete all these different side quests from Vex and Delvin till we get special contracts, and completing every one of the special contracts gets us a new merchant around the area and eventually returns the guild to top rank. We are crowned as the new guild master and get the final trophy. Up next, I decided to complete some dungeons to get that dungeon trophy and also learn some words of power on the way. During this, I stumbled across this side mission where we are invited into this sick manor full of vampires and have to survive their attack to claim it. I love this house. I think it was so cool, and the mission was pretty interesting even though I knew where it was going. I accidentally contracted the vampire virus and ended up becoming one. We also got a few trophies along the way, like the one for discovering all the standing stones, Thief for picking 50 locks and 50 pockets, and Delver for completing 50 dungeons. I checked the number of trophies I had left, and luckily there were only a few grindy ones left and the rest were all quest related, so I decided to finish all the miscellaneous and grindy ones before moving forward in the quest lines. I went to the Temple of Mara in Riften and grabbed the amulet worn by all the single lads of Skyrim. I got proposed by this cutie in Whiterun and we decided to get married. I celebrated my bachelor with Lydia the night before and went straight to the temple and got married. Up next, I went on and slayed a few dragons, unlocking Dragon Hunter for absorbing 20 dragon souls. With both of these out of the way, I thought of completing all the Daedric quests to get them weapons. I checked my active quest log, which gave me a bit of anxiety, and tried finding the Daedric ones on the list. I won't be going into detail about each one of these quests, otherwise it would make this video unnecessarily too long. I would just say that my favorite ones were A Night to Remember, the one with the dog, the Dawnstar Museum one where we get this cool dagger, and the wolf one. During these missions, missions I finally leveled up to 50, which made me a master. I didn't do the final Daedric quest as it gets unlocked during the main story quest, and I was saving the main story game for last. Instead, on the wolf quest, we can actually get 2 Daedric items. One by saving the werewolf and telling Helgen about our failure, and then going into the caves again to kill the werewolf, which gets us the other item. Well, this got me all the 15 artifacts, which unlocked Oblivion Walker. With the Daedric trophy out of the way, I headed straight into Jorvaskr in Whiterun and started the companion story, which caught me by surprise when I first played the game. So I have a bit of liking towards it. However, this time it was a bit different, but more on that in a sec. We joined the companions, who are the mercenary guild of Skyrim. After completing a few basic tasks, we figure out that the guild has a secret that the top ranked members can turn into werewolves. We are offered to become one and we gladly take it, which also cures our vampirism. The leader of the group tells us that it's actually a curse thanks to some hag ravens and that he wants to find a solution. We happily help him out, but turns out that the rival guild called Silverhands, who are werewolf hunters, have attacked the guild and killed the leader. We travel to their headquarters and finish them for good. Finally, we must find some axe fragments and take the axe to the companion tomb dungeon, which finally gives peace to Kodlak. This got me a total of 3 story trophies. And I also unlocked Reader during the missions for reading 50 skill books. That all sounded really easy and smooth. However, let me tell you something. It was legit a very bad experience. You see, if you have committed some crime in any of the 9 holds, then Farkas, one of the key members, behaves like a general guard and constantly follows you and starts a conversation which can be super annoying, as you get logged in that conversation, and every time you press circle to go back, he starts talking again.
We should keep moving. Skjor says that I have the strength of Ysgramor, and my brother has it. Leave me. Leave me. Leave me. Leave me. Leave me. For Kodlak. For Kodlak. For Kodlak. For Kodlak.
This was especially very unplayable during the missions where he transforms into a werewolf for the first time, and I legit had to knock him out multiple times in order to move forward. I think later on it got a bit better, however, it definitely was super annoying. Also, since the game considers him an enemy at the time he tries to follow us, we can't even fast travel. Thank you, Bethesda. After all that bugginess, it was finally time to join the Dark Brotherhood, my favorite guild right after Thieves. I like the joining mission of this one. We can overhear a rumor right around the start of the game about a boy who's trying to perform the Dark Sacrament, a ritual to call upon the Dark Brotherhood. Upon investigating, he thinks we are one of the Dark Brotherhood members and we need to kill a warden in an orphanage in Riften. After doing so, we can get kidnapped if we go to sleep by Astrid, the leader of the guild, who tasks us to kill one of the 3 targets who she kidnapped. After that, we are initiated into the guild. The rest of the missions were a bit meh. The Dark Brotherhood isn't doing too great and we must get it back on its feet. Cicero, a jester assassin, brings the Night Mother's coffin back to the guild. Astrid is paranoid and wants us to keep an eye on him. Everyone thinks he can talk to the Night Mother, but in reality he cannot, and turns out we can. We are the listener and the Night Mother gives us a few quests in order to bring the guild back to glory. The contract we get is to kill the Emperor. Astrid betrays us by warning the guards, and well, it ends up backfiring and pretty much destroying the guild. Finally, we finish the main contract by killing the king and bringing glory to the Dark Brotherhood, and of course we get 3 trophies during these quests. Up next, it was time to be a bit more political and pick sides in the Civil War questline. I chose the Imperial Legion or the Empire and started capturing one fort after the other. I didn't pay too much attention to the story and most of the missions went like this. I was ultra overpowered for them. Though I enjoyed this ability, it wasn't very useful in all scenarios, as it can hit our allies as well, who then start hitting us. And this low-key broke the final mission in Windhelm, as the next card waves just wouldn't spawn. Anyway, we killed Ulfric and the Empire saves the day in Skyrim. We get 3 trophies as always for completing this storyline. Okay, we are pretty much at the end game. Before starting the main game storyline, I created a hard save and went to every one of the major cities and destroyed everyone I saw to max out my bounty level, which made me a master criminal. Next, I surrendered to one of the guards and ended up in jail. Luckily, we get 2 lockpicks to break out and I used them to escape the jail, making me wanted. With all that extra content out of the way, let's delve into the main story, which was okay at best. We join the Greybeards who teach us how to use different shouts. We meet some old Blade members who want to stop the dragon menace and also meet the Master of Greybeards, who's a dragon. They all tell us more about Alduin, the dragon who is going to end the world, and we need to find a way to stop him. We learn multiple dragon shouts during the missions, like the Dragon Rend, which can basically force the dragon to land, Call Dragon, which can summon a dragon, and a shout to clear the sky. To be honest, I didn't even use any of the shouts during my 80+ hours of playthrough and kind of forgot that we could unlock some of them earlier, like the slow time, which could have actually come in handy. Anyway, in the story finale, we have to travel to Sovngrad and kill Alduin with the help of the old Nord warriors who fought him ages ago and sent him in a different dimension using the Elder Scrolls. Completing the main storyline unlocked Tomb Master for learning all 20 shouts, 7 story related trophies, and that shining platinum. Overall, I had a great time playing through Skyrim again, and I think the anniversary upgrade is amazing with all the extra content. I wanted to do all the DLCs as well, but I guess I just got too burnt out after 90ish hours of playing through the game. I would highly recommend checking this game out if you haven't already, as it's on sale most of the time and there's easily about 200+ hours of content the game can offer. Anyway, if you like this video, then please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel, as I really like making these videos and every like and subscription motivates me a lot. With this, I'm out and see you next time.